official reminders again for the sake of folks still just hopping on. And for anyone that might join us after the fact on demand, so glad you're all here carving out some space for Slow Flow Yoga. I'm Jen. We have 60 minutes together to move, explore, play. Good morning, Cindy's buddy behind. Strongly recommend yoga blocks or a light set of dumbbells this morning, particularly as we take opportunities to go kind of from our low shapes to our high shapes. There'll be some different transitions today where I know for me, I just appreciate having a little distance between my hands on the ground. That's all I'm technically recommending. But as always, if you like to have a blanket or a pillow when we get to Shavasana, if you know there's things you like to have around, please bring any and all props into practice. That's the benefit with being in your own space. Good morning, Jane. I'm going to go ahead and press play on some music and we'll connect as we do. Lying on our backs as your body feels ready. Good morning, Sarah. There's no rush to get there, so take care of those last minute pieces, whether it's setting up your space or kind of taking care of one more thing so your brain feels able to start to connect. And the reason we start on our back is to kind of create that sense of safety. And maybe that sounds a little kind of cliche or dramatic, but truly having a bit of support of the ground, good morning, Wendy, where your body can soften a bit and feel support. The hope is that our nervous system, literally our cortisol, starts to drop right here and our body feels like it can arrive in a space where there's not excessive demand or strain, and taking that approach to feel maybe a bit heavier and softer somewhere in your body. And as always, find some movement if that feels welcome to you. Good morning, Monique. Good to see you. Maybe it feels welcoming to even close your eyes briefly. Checking in with your breath. Remembering that so much of this practice, though I will do my best to distract you immensely by giving you guidance for movement, that so much of our time here is about this gift of being really present with ourselves. I hope for the duration of this practice, your brain is so fully engaged with you here that the only thing resonating between your thoughts and your breath is how you're moving on your mat. Give yourself a few more breaths to create some space, some softness, again, some initial movement. And we'll do just that. We'll work a little bit on the lower body first to create that welcoming space. Good morning, Billy. I'm just going to reposition myself. And the invite this morning is to plant the feet, knees bent. See how it feels to create an opening, kind of like a gentle butterfly shape, but I'm actually going to rock that side to side right away. So sometimes that rocking movement with this butterfly shape actually feels a little more gentle to me. Holding kind of with gravity pulling on the knees sometimes feels a little too much, and you can certainly do more of a windshield wiper here. You might actually kind of roll up off of one hip and then the other. So when my left knee drops, I'm actually lifting my right glute just a little bit. Let your upper body stay soft, your arms resting wherever feels best. And we'll kind of take this to just a little bit more space, inviting you to start to lift the legs off the ground. Maybe take a couple of sways side to side, a few ankle rolls. And then let's again concentrate on hips. Can you turn the hips out? So that will look kind of butterfly again. Then can you try to turn the hips in? So it's almost like you're going to go knock-kneed and your ankles are kind of outward. So this in and out with the hips. It can be distracting visually if you're kind of looking at what's happening because it looks like the knees are doing a lot of movement, but can that happen from the hips? And try not to force, right? This doesn't have to be the biggest amount of space you can find. And maybe it even feels a little figure eight fluid-like. And then when you're ready, not sure about you, but my upper body is feeling ready. Let's plant the feet, knees bent, whatever distance feels best, maybe a little wiggle across your back. Can you create kind of a cactus sensation in your arms, even if they don't touch the ground? So rotating at the shoulder, palms up, forearms up toward the ceiling. I'm going to do a chest press. So bring the forearms to touch over my chest, open back up, and then reach the arms overhead. And then bring them back to that cactus arm. So this kind of alternating chest press and overhead. I'll sit up so you can just see this briefly. You don't have to force your arms to the floor. You don't have to force your arms anywhere, right? So this kind of general guidance is just that. Good morning, Gloria. Taking a few more rounds. And then if you want to join me, either with your arms toward the ceiling or maybe arms over your head, pretend you're kind of pulling on a rope. So one arm will reach up a little further away while the other arm pulls down. And again, you can do this reaching over your head, arms kind of close to the floor, or you could do this toward the ceiling, just whatever way feels better to you. Take a few more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, arms come back to resting by your sides. If your feet are a little wider than the hips, let's bring the feet about hip distance apart, knees bent, arms rest comfortably as right knee comes in toward the chest, inviting you to an extend and bend kind of playfulness here with that right leg for a few rounds, literally to get the knee kind of in flexion and extension mode, to maybe feel the hamstring. And we'll do a little bit more of that. So we're going to hold the leg fairly straight. And then let's lower and lift it toward the floor and back up. You go as far down as feels right. What would it be like when you come to the top, right before you get to maybe that little sort of pull of the hamstring, that you slightly pause and use a little strength of your hip flexor to create that last little bit of distance? So truly no momentum at all. Notice what helps you create that moment. And then whenever you're feeling satisfied, if you'd like to lift the leg up, bend the right knee, and maybe give it a gentle hug at shin or back of thigh, feel free to do so. And then we'll just set that foot back down, give a little wiggle to your back if it helps to just kind of shimmy and shake. And then we'll go left side, left knee in toward chest, extend and bend. How is the data gathering this morning? How are we doing? Just checking in on information in the body. Hopefully not creating any storylines or judgment, just that noticing. And whenever you feel ready with the leg fairly long and extended, we'll lower and lift. Moving really slow, so there's no momentum here. This is about actually building capacity and checking in as low as it feels right to the body. And again, when the leg comes up, almost right before you go to that kind of furthest point, and I don't mean that like a conquest. It doesn't have to be the farthest ever, but just give a little squeeze of your hip flexor to get that little extra space. And then again, if you'd like to take a moment to bend the left knee and give it a little hug, setting the left foot back down. When you're ready, just one more round of movement. Again, I'm going to reposition myself. Let's take both legs up toward the ceiling or sky and just hold for a few breaths. Maybe a breath out that feels like a sigh of, again, just heaviness into the ground. Suggestion here, a little choreography of the legs, arms by your sides. I'm going to widen them like a V, bend my knees, flex my feet like I'm going to try to touch my knees outside of my ribs, come back up, bring the legs close, and I'm going to crisscross one over the other and then switch. Legs go out wide, bend the knees, flex the feet, kind of half happy baby-ish, if that visual makes sense, and then a crisscross at the top. And again, even though I just kind of created a potential choreography moment for you here, is anyone else thinking water ballet? Maybe that's because my daughter did water ballet. Whatever movements are feeling right. This doesn't have to be a perfection performance here. Take a few more rounds of breath. Raquel, so glad you're here. And then when you are ready, it's one more hug, maybe of both knees in. Grab the shins or the backs of the thighs. And what type of momentum feels best to bring you to be seated? Do you want to roll to one side? Do you want to rock and roll along your spine with a little kick whenever you are upright? So good to see you all. Good morning, Jan. Happy Saturday. You can stay facing the front of your mat, but you may want to move your hips back a bit because eventually we're going to have the legs extended. So if you want to kind of be on your mat, but I'm going to face you. Let's start with feet planted, knees bent, whatever width feels right. Give a little shift of your sit bones so you kind of feel forward and tall. I'm going to touch my hands behind fingertips, kind of behind the hips, and I'm going to do right arm to reach across, slightly round the back, and then sweep the right arm back up and around and then switch. We're going to keep doing these movements, but we're going to change the legs. You might start to wrap your arm kind of around your head as you return. Whenever you feel interested in doing so, can you extend your right leg out straight? And mine's just kind of out to the diagonal, and I'm literally going to keep doing this. So you might find as you start to go toward that straight right leg, maybe you do more of a twist. Just kind of notice any little shifts of what might feel interesting. And then when you feel compelled to do so, let's take the left leg straight as well. Maybe again, you keep doing these arms. Maybe you realize, I kind of want to do a little rocking chair sway for a few breaths with both legs straight. A few more rounds. And then can you rebend the right knee? So again, with now right knee bent and left leg straight, maybe you do a little bit more of a twist toward that left leg. I hope you just tuned me out for the last 3 minutes and you just moved. And then when you feel satisfied, maybe you could do this for all of class, please feel free. I'm going to bend my left knee again as well, and I'm going to take a couple windshield wiper movements. If there's anything else that you could use here, we have been kind of leaning back on those hands a bit, so maybe you take a few moments to roll the wrists around. And as you feel ready, morning, Kim, we'll make our way to tabletop pose. So good to see you all. Thanks for sharing space today. Coming to your tabletop pose, facing the front of your mat. Good morning, Mercedes. Spreading fingers nice and wide. Blocks maybe within your reach. I'll kind of give that cue as they could be useful. And then inviting you to move as we do in our tabletop pose, creating space with breath. What would that be like for your inhales and exhales to actually be the impetus for creating space in different areas of the body rather than kind of physically forcing it? One suggestion that we don't always do that you might find interesting, I'm going to face you. What about laterally moving your cows and cats? So as you kind of cow and cat, you actually rotate your body left and right in kind of a circle and then switch. Not a demand, just something to offer today to be maybe a little bit different if it's something you don't try. Take a few more rounds of breath here. And then we're going to go into hip openers with the suggestion today about maybe coming to the forearms to do so. So if you're interested in taking that shift, and you don't have to, I'm going to drop forearms down where elbows are right under the shoulders. I sometimes adjust the width of my knees. Maybe they go further back. There is this little downward slant of your head. So that can be a lot, kind of a little blood rush to the head. So again, you don't have to be low here. Let's center the left knee if you are on forearms and lift up a bent right leg. If you're staying in tabletop, you don't really have to center the left knee. I find I'm a little bit more stable if I do that from the forearms. Take some breath here where, again, things feel more spacious because you're able to take an inhale to find space. I typically kind of hang out here, but you can extend and bend the leg. You might roll around through the hip a little bit. And then in your time, we slowly return, right knee down, widen the knees if you're on the forearms to kind of reset, maybe a quick cow and cat. Just to kind of check back in with the spine. Can you feel like you've got that neutral spine? So tailbone up a little, tilt to the head. Right knee centers and the left leg will lift and open. Again, if you want to be an ankle roller, always good to roll ankles when we're choosing to. Extend and bend the leg, or simply hold and appreciate that little gravity tug to open the hip. When you feel ready, returning again to both knees, give that a wide base. We're going to come back to the hands. However, maybe just for some tricep fun, I'm going to literally push through my palms and pulse up and down a couple of times. Elbows are always bent slightly. I'm not straightening, not touching, just this little pulse. Can you feel your tricep, the back of your upper arm? Do you get a little fire? Are you smiling? And then when you're ready, come all the way up. Can you shift forward to a knee plank? You might have to adjust. So shoulders are directly over wrists. We're not caving in. We're not lifting the hips. We're this straight line. Offer to lower to the belly. Now we warm the triceps. So maybe you start to bend the elbows and peel your body down kind of through a cobra. Maybe your body says, I prefer not being on the belly today. I'm going to invite you to come back to tabletop. If you went to the belly, find a variation of cobra. Push through the tops of your feet. Maybe press through your hands. Maybe float your hands. Couple of other suggestions. I'm going to land my hands really close to my shoulders and I'm going to kind of swim my shoulders around without really lifting my upper body. You could convert that to spontaneous cobra where you take your hands wide, tent your fingertips, and you do actually lift up and kind of snake your upper body with a cobra lift in between. You can do all of that from tabletop. Take a few more rounds of breath as we kind of talked about framing a little subtle shoulder extravaganza within our time today. Can we meet in tabletop when you feel ready? If you're coming off of the ground, get that tuck in of your elbows. Feel a lift with your low ribs to bring you up. How about a puppy pose? Curl the toes under. Take your arms, hands forward. Feel a stretch of your spine. In some ways, I hope this feels active. So your ribs are softening down, your head kind of softening between your shoulder blades, but feel that lift of your tailbone. You might really subtly cow and cat here, just to find that really sweet spot where the slight curvature of your spine is exactly what you need here. Can you give that sweet spot a delightful breath in and a full breath out? Let's make our way back to tabletop. We're going to do a little movement here from tabletop. If your wrist could use a little softness today, I invite you to elevate your hands on your blocks or dumbbells. You can always bring those in. From tabletop pose, let's lift the right leg long off of the ground, flex the foot. Notice again if you feel like you're cow or cat-like. Pretend you're trying to push something away from you. Really find stretch and length, some softness in your elbows. Can you use an exhale to draw your right knee under your body and hold it there? Let's find just a little catch of the breath. We're going to sway the right hip from here. So I'm going to kind of turn my right hip in and out. So it's almost like my knee is windshield wipering. I'll face you. If you prefer more space here, you can take the leg kind of back a bit. It doesn't have to stay directly under your chest. Take a few more rounds. And then let's return to the right leg kicking long, but this time your toes go on the floor. Can you press your right heel down? Let's open and lift left arm to turn and twist to the left. Exhale, sweep left arm under right. So kind of a thread the needle variation here from this extended single leg tabletop pose. Take some breath to decide, do you want to pause somewhere? Maybe you pause with your left arm up and you hold in the twist. Maybe you pause actually with left arm under you and you kind of touch your right finger or left fingertips to your right shoulder. Maybe you keep moving. Take a few more breaths in whatever feels best. And then we're going to take a break from the wrist. Bring your left hand back down. Bring your right knee back in. Let's head to the knees with an inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Keep rounding, tuck your chin. Walk your hands back toward your knees and slowly roll up. Did it sound more dramatic if I said slowly roll up? Give yourself a nice shoulder roll. I'm going to face you. Can you take your arms out to the side? Kind of pretend with your hands that you're holding like a doorknob or a jar lid. And let's open and close that doorknob or jar lid with your shoulders rotating. So, right, I kind of described that so it gets easy to maybe turn at the wrist, but can you turn your shoulders in and out? Do you think you could go opposite? One in, one out. Did you have to pause and get your brain to latch onto that? Don't you love that? Oh, I love making my brain happy too. Take a few more rounds. And then as you're ready, we're going to take a flow. So the suggestion is that you take a reach up with a breath in. A thoughtful hinge sends the hips back. We land in tabletop and then explore what you'd like to do. Do you want to make a transition back to the belly? Maybe you lower more like a push-up or you kind of snake down through that cobra. Maybe you don't need to be on the belly today or at this moment of practice and you want to move a bit in tabletop. The invitation is to come to a place to pause. So you might eventually return to tabletop and set up again for a puppy pose like we just did before with that tabletop base. You might set up for more of a child's pose where I feel like most of us like to widen the knees. The width of the knees is entirely up to you. Tops of the feet may be down, and then we tend to surrender a little bit more into gravity. Maybe you want to come back and sit and take some weight completely off of the upper body. So this moment where we go from flow to pause, let your brain catch up with a thoughtful breath in and a thoughtful breath out. As you're ready, we're going to come back to tabletop pose. Again, you can always elevate the hands to take some pressure off of the wrists here. From tabletop, left leg long, lifted, like you're kicking the back wall away from you. Notice again if your back feels arching or rounding. Can you have this be really strong? Lift your low ribs in. On an exhale, draw left knee under your body. Get that little squeeze of your core. And then from there, can we turn the hip? So it might be like your knee is going in and out, but you're turning from the hip. If you prefer just a little more space, you can back that knee out a little bit. It doesn't have to stay directly under your body. Kind of floating windshield wiper. Take a few more rounds. And then we send the left leg back long again. The toes touch down. Energize your left heel toward the floor. So you have that really strong base. Right arm lifts and we open and twist to the right. Exhale, sweep right arm under left. Notice how that movement feels, encouraging you to connect this with breath. I like inhaling to open, exhaling to twist. Take a few more rounds of breath, either keeping moving, or maybe you want to hold open in your twist. Maybe you want to hold actually in that rotation with your right fingertips on your left shoulder blade. A few more breaths. When you feel satisfied, right hand comes back down, left knee comes back in. We go back to the knees. Inhale to cow, exhale round to cat. Walk hands back toward the knees and a slow roll up. shoulders, neck, then head. Take a few shoulder rolls here, a couple more shoulder movements. We might have to make a bingo card for how many times I'm going to say shoulders today. I'm going to turn away from you, arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Right arm up, left arm down, brief bend of both elbows. Lengthen, pinwheel to switch. Left arm up, right arm down, bend both elbows. So as you keep doing this, there's this micro moment where during the pinwheel, your shoulder goes from inward to outward. So your top palm is facing your neck. Your bottom palm is facing away from you. Can you kind of feel that moment right when you're out to the side where you've got that, oh, and they switch? Is your neck sticking out? Tuck it in. Draw back. Good. A few more rounds of breath. And again, we take one final flow here temporarily on the ground. Take a big breath up, reach up as you're ready. Thoughtful hinge brings you back to tabletop pose, and take a rinse and flow. This is not a mandate to find movement. If you prefer to go straight to puppy pose or child's pose, please do. If you're feeling just this lovely rinsing through meditative movement, take it. Time on the belly or not. Maybe again, you decide to come off of the upper body completely and you want to sit back, sit on the feet, come back to the knees, whatever it is that you're most enjoying here, and feeling just so empowered by all of that, making some goodness for your body today. When you are ready, we're going to reconnect back in tabletop pose. We're going to stand up initially by actually going to the back of your mat. So you might want to place one block or dumbbell kind of near one of your feet. It doesn't matter which. Offer to try on a downward facing dog. And if that doesn't feel right in your body, I'm going to encourage you to stay in puppy pose with your knees grounded. Tabletop curl, toes under, drive tailbone up, feel a bend of the legs. Remember when we did that puppy pose, we talked about how active we were lifting and lengthening? Can you do that here? Drive your tailbone up, hinge at the waist like your low ribs are going to your thighs. Let your head be dropped into gravity. Maybe yeses and nos with your head. Maybe some shifts or pulses at the waist, maybe some pedals of your legs. When you're ready, we're going to go hands back toward the feet. As you walk your hands back, you might widen your feet if that feels more spacious. You might grab your block. Suggestion, ragdoll right away if you're okay staying upside down, and if ragdoll feels welcome to your spine. Sometimes I can tell none of that is good in my body today, and I'm going to lift and lengthen my spine and then play with some bending of the legs or some cow and cat movements. Spend a few more breaths here at the back of your mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to stand really slowly. Root to rise, drive through your feet, heart leads, or roll up head last. You decide, but use your feet. Grow, lengthen, extend. Oh, do you just feel that sometimes once you're upright that we just went potentially from ground to standing, maybe upside down, let it land. Let's move your block, if you used it, just back off to the side. I'm going to bring the feet hip distance apart. We're going to take a little journey where we'll eventually be at the front of the mat. Note there'll be a smidge of balance here, so you can also move away from your mat and hold and touch something if that helps. Put a little more weight into your left foot. And can we swing, pendulum swing that right leg? I tend to be a jazz hand runner at the same time, whatever your arms want to do. Keep a little bend of the leg, obviously, so we don't kind of touch the right foot to the floor. I'm going to face you briefly. Can you switch directions and go side to side? And maybe you alternate sweeping in front and behind of your left leg. Don't worry about how big this is. Notice that combination of stability in the left leg, a little mobility in the hips, and a little brain action. And then when you're ready, let's briefly pause right foot next to left, encouraging you to take a couple of heel, toe, toes. So shifting your weight to your heels, lift your toes, and then come onto your tippy toes. And maybe you take a couple of steps forward, so you're more to the middle of your yoga mat. And then when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Both feet planted, a little more weight in your right foot. And let's do a little pendulum swing front to back with the left leg. Balance is fun, isn't it? Are you running? I know, I love jazz hands. Anytime you can find a jazz hand, I'm in. And if you feel wobbly, great. There's so much benefit with wobble. How about side to side? And maybe again, you alternate the leg kind of in front or behind the right. Please don't worry about how far things are going. That has nothing to do with this. You feel into where that control is, where that space is, where that joy is. And when you're ready, left foot next to right, maybe a couple more heel, toe, toes as you make your way to the front of the mat. Now, the only little glitch here if you are potentially with me at the front of the mat, is I am going to suggest that you have both blocks or dumbbells with you. So I'm actually going to take a walk back, grab my block from the back of my mat. And if you are joining me with height support, let's set both blocks or dumbbells next to your feet. Mine are at the medium setting. They can be lowest, medium, high. We're going to come down and step back to a low lunge so that height support can really acknowledge hips and lower back so we don't dump in. When you're ready, top of mat, take a breath up, reach up, almost like you're sitting in chair pose. So send your hips back, kind of keep your heart and chest lifted. Notice where you can land. Hands could come to your thighs or your blocks or dumbbells, maybe the floor. Can you step your right leg back, lower your right knee down, uncurl your right toes? Can you lift your heart? So you might have your fingertips touching somewhere. You might come off of the ground and have your hands on your left thigh. Can we open and twist to the left? So here's the piece with this twist. We don't want to twist from a rounded back. So really let your hips find space toward gravity, but lift your heart and chin and rotate. Again, you don't have to have a right hand down. This twist is beneficial regardless of where that right hand is placed, but keep the spine long. When you're ready, can we rotate, pausing again with both hands on thighs or maybe on your blocks or dumbbells? We're going to stand from here. Can you curl the right toes under? Lift the right knee briefly. Don't dump into your hands. Firm up through the legs. Spin your right foot flat. Do a cartwheel. Right arm forward. Left arm chases. Left arm up. Right arm down. Reverse triangle. Oh, that was a lot of words. Nice. Now that you're here, breathe. I feel like I was just spewing a lot of stuff at you there. Soften through the knees. Feel some length in your left ribs. When you're ready, find a tilt upright of your spine. And let's just readjust the feet to set up for warrior two stance. So your feet are going to want to be in a balance beam. Your left toe is forward. I'm going to move my block so you can see. Right foot tucked behind, so your right arch is behind your left heel. Before we come into warrior two, option to bring your hands in your back pockets, fingertips down, or you clasp behind your back. And then let's see how it feels to sit. Sitting into warrior two is a bend of the left leg. Your right hip tucks under your right shoulder. Now, a couple things to play with here. Could you turn your torso slightly forward, open up your left knee? Maybe you actually enjoy kind of facing more angled forward. Maybe you keep the left knee where it is and you turn your torso back to the side. It changes the sensation for me in the hips. Can you wiggle your left toes just to check in? This is proof that holding in a shape, this is sometimes where the work is. Where does your brain go? Where can your breath be helpful? What is the panic button that might be happening in your brain that you can settle with a breath? When you're ready, lengthen through left leg, take a reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands to heart. Turn all 10 toes toward the long edge of your mat. If you're able to, maybe grab one of those blocks or dumbbells and let's set it under your chest. We're gonna head to a wide fold with a couple of options here. I like to head into my wide fold with knees bent, swan dive down, land the hands, block or dumbbell or mat or floor, and then enjoy some time here for you. Legs might lengthen while you simultaneously actually stretch the crown of your head forward and keep your chin and heart up. You might go more ragdoll style. I really do consider this to be a dialogue of all of your back body, your hamstrings, your back, your lower back, your spine. They're all communicating with one another right now. Take some time to find the space that feels right. Suggestion for one more added round of movement here. Press hands under chest and chin, lift heart. Really lengthen your spine. So send your tailbone back, the crown of your head forward. And I'm going to alternate rotation, sweeping one arm up, come back down, and then switch and rotate the other. You can do this with more of a elbow pull. So sometimes my shoulders don't actually like to do that straight arm. So you could do more of a lawnmower pull. Keep your knees soft and see if you can avoid turning your hips. Can you do this just with your upper back? When you feel ready and satisfied, plant the hands. How about a bend of the knees? Can you reach back behind you? Keep your legs strong, back strong, and then power up through the feet. Rise up, stand up, stretch up. So good. Strong back, hands to heart. I'm going to walk the feet a little closer. And then can we turn back to face the front of your mat? You're still in a staggered stance. Left foot forward, right foot back. All 10 toes forward if you can briefly. I'm hoping you can find a calf stretch. So you might actually kind of lower and lift the right heel a couple of times. but hoping you can put a little pressure to flatten that right foot. And you might even kind of lean forward slightly, rest your hands on your thigh. If you do that, I hope it feels like you're a straight line from the back of your head all the way down to your right heel. So again, you haven't rounded your back or arched your back. We're just kind of that little lean. I hope you found a spot, that little stretch. And then let's rise up, step the right foot about halfway up, almost to the left foot. Briefly flip your right toes upside down. Take a quick foot stretch, toe massage. Feel free to orchestrate with your hands, whatever you may be doing to move the foot. And then to kind of wrap up this sequence, I'm going to face you. Let's bring the right toes next to the left leg. Can you turn the knee open? Did you feel that? The hip just went again into external rotation. Try to lift the knee, kind of check in with where your body is for range of motion here in the knee and the hip. Can we find tree pose? You might connect. Right foot kind of below. Maybe you help it to come above the knee. Maybe you kickstand on the ground. I have to tell you, I've been doing yoga a long time, and we always talk about not pushing into the knee, but our knee does build some resilience side to side. So I'm contemplating. Keep that left knee soft. Maybe you grow some branches. Let wobble be super welcome. Maybe you even create a little movement on purpose, because the worst thing that happens, right, your foot comes down. Tree poses, I love it. It's got high reward, low risk. Do you ever speak about things in your life in that way? How many more stories do you want to talk about while you're in tree pose? Take a few more rounds of breath. And when you're ready, maybe hands come in first. Right leg next to left leg. And let's take a little rinse of the body. You might rotate your spine a little side to side. Maybe you want to go for a little walk. Back, front, heels, toes. We're going to recreate that sequence on the second side. So if you recall, we're going to actually start by coming down from standing to a low lunge. So I'm going to reset my blocks next to my feet, maybe medium height if you've got blocks, dumbbells high or low. And then from feet hip distance, when you're ready, take a reach up, stretch up, breathe in, exhale, hands pass through heart, sit like you're sitting into a chair. Enjoy this first, spine tall, sit down into the legs, kind of find that sweet spot. Then where are your hands gonna go? Thighs, blocks, dumbbells, floor, step left leg back, lower left knee down, uncurl the left toes. Again, lift your heart. So your fingertips, your hands might still be touching something, or you might come off of the ground. Trying to find that spot where your hips have softness toward gravity, not collapse, but your spine is tall. Can we twist? Your left hand would either stay down on something and you open and twist right arm up, or maybe your left hand, you're upright and left arm is on right thigh and right arm is up. Feel that dialogue. There's so much here, right? Hips, spine, heart, breath. Can you take that full breath in? When you are ready, let's unwind. Maybe right hands again, maybe both hands are touching. Can you curl left toes under? Can you lift your left knee? Use your legs, get strong through the legs. We flatten the left foot, briefly cartwheel, left arm sweeps forward, chasing with right arm. We land reverse triangle, right arm up, left arm down, and pause while I turn to face you. Reverse triangle. Let the feet hold you so everything else feels a little soft. Not like you're collapsing, but just softening. Take another breath into the right ribs and a big breath out. And then we bring the spine tall and we'll set up warrior two stance. So again, there's probably some adjusting of the feet. We do want to be a bit balanced beam, right foot facing forward, left foot angled somehow. Suggestion is arms first. So hands into your back pockets. Or maybe you clasp. If you did clasp the hands, I suggest that you shift one digit over so the other thumb is on top. Another brain moment. And then we sit. I hope it feels like you're trying to sit straight down, even though your right knee is bending. Tuck your left hip under your left shoulder to help that vertical stack of your body. Maybe you rotate your whole body slightly forward toward the right foot. Can you open your right knee toward your right pinky toe? Maybe this feels like the place to stay is kind of facing more forward. Maybe you try to turn your torso back to the side without letting your right knee move. That will change the sensation of the hip stretch. How's your breath? Is your left leg strong but your left knee soft? Where is your brain communicating? Where is your breath moving? What happens here is we stay. Wiggle your right toes. Another breath in, another breath out. Lengthen, rise, maybe you reach. Exhale, hands come down if you did. Turn all 10 toes fully to the right side. We're going to head again to a wide fold. So I'm bringing my feet just a little closer, toes facing the side. Maybe you'll grab a block or dumbbell. We'll hinge. I like hips back. I like to hinge with a really strong spine. Bend the knees until my hands come down. Block, dumbbell, mat, floor. And then give yourself some space again to spend time here. So this is kind of a direct second round of an exact shape offering. So there's a little muscle memory here. Maybe your feet come closer. Maybe you opt for a different variation of your upper body. You could grab for the ankles. You could move all sorts of ways here. Maybe you're kind of a constant shifter. Maybe you found a moment to be still. When you feel ready, different variation to come up. We're going to spend some time in Goddess. Can you press hands under chin and heart? Can you turn the toes out, bring the heels in, kind of sit into the hips a bit, start to free up your hands off the ground when you're ready. And maybe you pause into Goddess. You could revolve your Goddess, or you kind of rotate your upper body without rounding your back. Maybe you want to kind of shift around through the hips. Suggestion, now that we've got the legs set and hopefully your spine's strong, maybe you take a few breaths in kind of that traditional Goddess where you then cactus your arms. Try not to let your back sway or arch. So it doesn't matter how wide the arms are open, really tuck your low ribs in. And then can you rise up like you're squeezing your inner thighs together? Pull your heels together even though they're not going to move. Yes, and then we'll bring the feet in a bit. I'm going to literally walk my feet a little closer, and then let's turn back to face the front of your mat, staggered stance still. So right foot forward, left foot back, hoping all 10 toes can face forward, because again, the offer is to find hopefully a calf stretch. I'm going to do a couple of lift and lowers of that left heel and adjust again how close your foot is, how far back it is. Left heel hopefully softens down. And just kind of resting your hands somewhere. You might be at your hips. Take a few more breaths here. Notice if you're chasing like the biggest stretch you can find. I hope you found something that feels like you just got to release somewhere. And then we'll come up a little taller. Left foot comes almost all the way up. Keep weight in your right foot to flip your toes upside down. We were laughing about that this week. I've declared this as upside down foot, but maybe this is right side up foot. I don't know. Maybe your toes flexed is upside down. Who knows? Give yourself a little toe massage. Oh, best thing about the weekend, toe massages. Take a few more rounds of breath. And then as you're ready, can you step the left foot up, still be on the toes, so still more weight in your right foot, setting up for tree. Open the knee first, so feel the hip open once again. This is a hip opening balance shape. Maybe lifting, kind of seeing where the knee flexion is, hip range, and then determining where you want to connect your left foot. Notice if there's this, again, conquest mindset. You can certainly help the left foot to come above the knee if you were kind of almost there on your own, active range of motion. You might find branches. If you're feeling really spicy and exploratory, you could even close your eyes. Sometimes I instantly fall, which is just amazing. Take some breath. I hope you felt a moment to smile. Just imagining your favorite tree. Do you have a favorite tree? Maybe it's near your home, somewhere that you walk. Picture that for a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, we carefully rewind to set left foot next to right. Take a few, again, rotations, movements of your spine, a little walk, a little march. Oh, are you longing for a flow? It is time to flow. Let's meet at the top of the mat. You might have your block still next to your feet. I'm going to set mine in front of my feet. We're going to take a full rinse out all the way back to the ground. So when you're ready, feet hip distance, top of your mat, take a stretch up, reach up, thoughtful hinge. Maybe you hinge to come back to more of that halfway lift. It's been a while since we were here and we were at the back of the mat. Maybe you go to ragdoll. Maybe you realize, I don't know that I want to spend a lot of time here. You can come to tabletop whenever you're ready. Take the time here to move and explore. As you head to tabletop, try to bend your knees generously so you get kind of close to the floor, using your blocks or dumbbells, making your way back to tabletop whenever you're ready. And then it's your time to continue and flow with whatever you need. Do you want to take time on the belly for a cobra? Do you want to wiggle around in tabletop pose? Do you want to find one more downward facing dog in this practice or a child's pose? These moments I find are truly that reflection of your body, this practice, this day. Being on your mat is not somehow every practice is better than the previous one. It's none of that. What do you need right here? What does it feel like, as we talked about at the very beginning, to have your brain so fully invested right now that this is all you know? Body sensation, breath, coming to be still, taking a few more conscientious breaths in and out. As you feel ready, we're going to start with just a little bit more work for lower back and maybe quadriceps. So there's 2 variations of this pose. You can do this from tabletop or the belly, and it really doesn't matter which you choose. If you're in tabletop, though, I'm going to invite you to come to blocks under your hands. I'm going to set this up first on the belly. So if you want to try from the belly, if you've been kind of exploring on the belly today, take your time to lower down. If you get there and you want to join me, I'm going to bend both knees and actually windshield wiper sway a little bit. And we're going to work into a single leg quadricep stretch with a little support of the lower back. So if you're on the belly, let's take both legs long. Could you actually squeeze your right glute muscle to lift the right leg off of the ground for a few breaths? Like literally squeeze the backside of your body and let it soften. Do that one more time. If you're in tabletop, doing that with a lift also, lift and squeeze. Then let's bend the right knee. Can you keep your chin on just your left hand and maybe grab right hand to foot? I'll demonstrate tabletop. The reason I like blocks is because I can bend the leg and I can find it more available. You're gonna actually do left hand to right foot if you're in the tabletop variation. Take a few more rounds of breath. If you're in tabletop, you can kick into that hand. If you don't have it, kick the foot toward the ceiling. If you're on the ground, maybe you kick into your right hand and your chest starts to lift. Take your left arm out like a kickstand. Do not push with your left hand. Any lift here, let that be happening because of the kick in your right hand. Single leg bow pulling pose. Your breath might get a little challenged here. Find that space. And then release thoughtfully. If you've been on the belly and you want to stay, you might windshield wiper the legs. If you were in that tabletop variation, you might wiggle around, kind of literally shifting your hips side to side in tabletop. As we set up the second side, be willing to be just as thoughtful and progressive as we were the first side. So if you're on the belly, both legs long, chin rests on your hands, lift and squeeze the left leg. What we're doing here is activating the backside of the body to actually help lengthen the quadricep, soften and lower. Take a breath. And then one more time, lift and squeeze. Again, you can do this from tabletop and then soften and then bend left leg and see if you can connect left hand, left foot if you're on the belly. Again, if you're in the tabletop variation, because you're upright and somewhat balanced, you would do left leg bent, right hand connected. And if that connection doesn't feel available, kick your left foot into the ceiling like a donkey kick. If you're on the belly, you might kick your foot into your hand, which might in and of itself and start to raise your upper body. If it does, take your right hand out forward. It is literally just a kickstand. Any height that's being created in your upper body is because you're kicking into your hand. Create another round of breath. Stay to breathe out. One more inhale, use an exhale to release. Bend the legs. Maybe you stay again on the belly to sway. It is up to you. You can come off of the belly anytime because that is where we will meet eventually. If you've been on the belly, legs long, really thoughtfully lift. We did a lot for the lower back, so try to lift up with your low ribs. Help your body rise off the ground. Anything else that you could use kind of in tabletop, if you want to take a quick child's pose, the suggestion is going to be to grab a yoga block if you have it, and to either come to the knees or to come to sit on your feet. You might have the toes curled under. You might be sitting on the tops of your feet. We're going to spend a little time here. If you don't have a yoga block, you could grab like a towel or something else small and light. We're going to come back to our pinwheel. I'm going to be on the knees. So do you remember when we did our little pinwheel? We're going to try a little experiment here. If you've got a block, let's put it in your right hand. I'm going to turn away from you, or whatever small thing you might want to have. And again, you can be sitting down or on the knees. Can you start doing your pinwheels again? Just keeping that right block or your block in your right hand. And then the next time your right arm is up, left arm is down, so your block is there. Do you think you could hand it off to your left hand? Oh boy. Oh boy. Cool. Oh, how fun was that? All right, now maybe it's in your left hand. And if it fell or whatever, grab it. Let's have it in your left hand. Do a few preparations. So go a couple of times. And then when you're ready, see if you can pause. Left hand up, right arm down. Can you exchange the block again? Oh, maybe you start to get super spicy and you exchange it every time. Maybe you're like, that is so not happening and my block is just flying all over. Isn't that an amazing check of funsies for the shoulders? How far forward is your neck sticking out? How much are you arching your back? Oh, nice. Take a few more rounds, wherever play you found. Now you can tell everyone, I did some playfulness in yoga today. Do you find one side is easier? When you feel satisfied. Oh, I can see smiles on my screen. Let's meet sitting whenever you feel ready. If there's anything else that you need before you come to sit. Ah, that was fun. Try that on your own. It can become the next party favor when you have people over. Grab a yoga block. Try this. We're going to come back to our back as you feel ready. Anything you want to grab. There's no required props in terms of what we're going to explore, but grab a blanket, grab a pillow, make your way down as you're ready. I like to sometimes grab the backs of my thighs, unpeel, unwind. Oh, I hope there's kind of that sense of, in what hopes to be that very best way of you're now back with the ground. And if you recall, we kind of framed this earlier, why we start here is to check in with our bodies and our brains from a position of safety. Now seeing how it feels after all the things we did to let go. Maybe you had to let go of a bunch of narratives, stress from the week, inner dialogue. This is a great place to let it go. We're going to find a really nice side body stretch here. We haven't done banana in a long time. Let's do a quick check-in though on which variation of banana will feel best to your lower back. Does it feel okay for you to extend both legs straight? And I'm going to recommend that they go out kind of slightly to the corners. Just see how that feels. If your lower back is not really sure about having the legs extended, I invite you to keep the knees bent. And then we'll find upper body. So from legs extended or knees bent, can you take your right arm up by your ear, right arm up by your ear, left arm by your side, pick up your upper body and tilt to the upper left corner of your mat. And then if both legs are straight, cross your right leg over your left leg. So your entire body is tilting over to the same left side of your mat. If you're from bent knees, I encourage you to maybe lengthen just the right leg. So if I were standing up, right, we created this whole tilt of our body toward the left side of the mat. Notice if you're rolling onto your left side. Could you actually kind of try to reconnect your right shoulder blade with the floor? If you want to bring your left hand to gently grab your right wrist for a few more breaths, go ahead. Just to add a little kind of gentle softness. I'm not pulling, I'm just creating a little bit more weight into that stretch. When you're ready, if you're in banana with both legs extended, you might kind of simultaneously unwind and you might take like a star shape stretch of your body. Please feel free to rebend the legs for a few breaths as we just give ourselves a moment to reset in the middle. The side body opening, so good for our spine and hip health. So again, determining, do you want to start the second side from both legs long, slightly to the corners, or from the knees bent? Left arm up, right arm down. Pick up your upper body to tilt to the upper right corner of your mat. Kind of wiggle your shoulder blades, and then either crossing left ankle over right, and make adjustments here. Things don't always kind of get created from the exact spot we want. Or if you're from knees bent, maybe you take the left leg straight. And again, it's really tempting here to almost kind of roll on to your right side. Can you reconnect, if it's not, your left shoulder blade with the floor? Maybe your right arm gently connects with your left wrist for a few more breaths. Notice again what happens in your brain here if we somehow create this narrative that this has to be a really big sensation. Subtlety is so valuable. Unwind in your time. Maybe again, there's kind of a full body stretch like a star. Maybe you actually want to bend the knees or hug the knees in now for a few breaths. Just kind of sway across the lower back. The lower back was quite a partner there, so any little massage or thank you to the lower back. And let's do just that. We'll just take our wind releasing pose perhaps into a twist. So briefly, both feet planted, knees bent. Left leg out straight and long, relaxed into the floor to hug the right knee into the chest. Grab the shin or the back of the thigh. Give it a pretty good pull here. Use some energy in your biceps. You might find you have to kind of shift your right thigh off of the side of your body. And if you want to take this into a twist, your left hand is going to probably be your guide to cross that right bent knee over and just kind of rolling onto your left side. Twists are truly guided by you. I hope that feels true this entire practice, but this moment, your spine will tell you, yep, that's the spot. Just rotating as much as feels lovely. Rinse things out. As you're ready, we'll slowly unwind. I do invite you to give the knee one more hug if you did find a twist, kind of reconnect the back of your right hip to the floor. And then again, take a moment to reset. Maybe a full body stretch, maybe quick bent knees, a little hug, a little sway. In your time, take your time. Set up the other side, right leg straight and long. Left knee starts to hug in, wrapping fingertips or hands around the shin or the back of the thigh. Give that a hug. Oh, this wind releasing hug. Your hip flexor just goes, oh, I hope. And then maybe you guide this into a twist. And the maybes are truly maybes. You might even find one side of your body wants a twist and the other one really doesn't. It's completely okay that that asymmetry reveals itself. That doesn't mean anything is wrong in your body or that you're choosing something erroneous. Take a few more rounds of breath. As you feel ready, rewinding, rolling back, maybe give that leg one more hug. And as you come out of that wind releasing pose or twist, then taking on just a moment or two to figure out what else you might need. Is there one final little shape or movement? Is there a pillow or a blanket that you want to grab? What else kind of helps you complete any movement that you might be needing as we come to settle in rest? Finding a position of your body, and hopefully it doesn't take a lot of over-analysis, but just that tapping into instinct of where your body feels most at ease for rest today. Where you're not feeling a lot of resistance back, where there's not a lot of noise or feedback from your body, which then creates that interesting space where our mind can start to soften. And as a reminder, Shavasana is not about emptiness. Our brain is designed to think. How about this moment is boundaryless, no restrictions. Let your brain drift. Let your body find its natural cadence and rhythm. This time and space for you, for this whole practice to absorb and land. And with that, I will go off camera ever so briefly, and we'll bring you back after just a few more quiet moments. as a gentle invitation to notice. What would it feel like to bring a little bit more awareness back into your present moment, kind of intellectually holding that awareness here without any expectation that you do anything? I always hope my voice doesn't somehow create a sense of urgency. Please take note of really what your body is saying here. If you found this to be particularly restful today, maybe you kind of landed into that yoga power nap, please feel free to stay, even if you just linger a bit longer as we close our time together. Maybe it would be helpful to use a few transitional moments to find some movement, to explore a different position of your body. Take your time, maybe keeping your eyes closed if that feels okay. Exploring, maybe even wiggling toes or fingers. Know that I'm here seated, eyes closed. The invitation is always there for you to make your way upright if that feels like it serves your transition into the next part of your day, or not. Wherever you are, see if you can lengthen your spine, soften your jaw, relax your neck and your eyes. Soften your ears. Maybe you bring one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly. Just notice, even the minute you touch, if you did so, how does the temperature feel under your palms? Can you feel your breath moving in and out of your body? Capturing a moment, a sensation, anything that you want to hold here as we move away from our practice. Give that a breath in and a breath out. I am holding gratitude for you all for inviting me into your weekend, your day. Thank you so much. Pressing palms together, thumb knuckles right over your third eye space, your forehead, where I acknowledge that there is love and light in me that sees and honors the love and light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thanks so much, Joe, Pam. So glad you could make it. Aubrey, so glad you could make